Sorry, William. Good evening. I call to order the regular City Council meeting for September 28th, 2023. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Clea McCaw. Mayor Pro Tem Carolyn Humphrey.
Present.
Councilmember William Benning.
Present.
Councilmember Gregory Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Angelica Landry.
Present.
Councilmember Marta Messmer.
Present.
Councilmember Mark Rodriguez.
Present.
Madam Pro Tem, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. We'll start our meeting, as always, with the invocation by Pastor Justin McPeak with Thunder Mountain Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Dr. Landry. Please rise.
I'll go ahead and pray. Father, I thank you for today and for allowing us to draw here and be here. And I pray that you would give wisdom and discernment in the decisions that are made today and the things that are chosen to be funded. And I pray for unity in this room. I pray for peace in the city, that you would give favor to these council men and women as they lead this city. And I guess my prayer is that you would allow them to have favor with the people of the city, that you would give them and allow them to make decisions that work for the good of this city. Thank you for, and remind us that is what you desire to do. You desire to work through the leaders for the good of this city and help us to support them as they do that. I thank you for what you're going to do in this place tonight. And I pray that you would guide and direct these conversations. And I pray all this, Jesus, in your name. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you, Pastor McPeak, and thank you, Councilmember Dr. Landry. We'll move on to item number 1, acceptance of the agenda. Councilmember Benning.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Temp. I move that the agenda for the regular City Council meeting of September 28th, 2023 be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. And anything that needs to be changed, deleted? All right. All those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. And then we're moving on to City Manager's report. Mr. Petruchak.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council. A reminder that city offices will be closed in observance of Columbus Day on Monday, the 9th of October. Because of that, your refuse schedule will change to Tuesday and Thursday for the Monday pickups and Wednesday and Friday for the Tuesday normal pickup. Your next regularly scheduled work session is scheduled for Tuesday, the 10th of October, 3 p.m. here in the council chambers. And then your next regularly scheduled council meeting is scheduled for then Thursday, the 12th, 5 p.m. here in the council chambers. A few items tonight. If you'll recall, on Tuesday, I updated the council about the situation at the border. With regards to a meeting a number of us attended in Wilcox, the mayor manager's lunch that included elected officials and managers from the various cities in the county. At that time, we were informed of the situation with regards to shelters being set up at Bisbee and Douglas, and the request for assistance by those communities and county staff in the event needed with regards to the situation that occurred a couple weekends ago. That situation occurred because the Ajo station was over capacity, and a number of migrants were then driven or bused to the NACO facility, primarily women and children at that point. As has been the practice, those people have been dropped off at the NACO Safeway, and bus transportation has been provided through the state to shelter in Pima County. In this case, the Pima County shelter that's been set up primarily using federal dollars and grants was over capacity, and no buses were forthcoming for those individuals. At that point, Bisbee and Douglas did set up shelters. So that request was made at that meeting a week ago Wednesday. At that time, it looked like more shelter space might be needed because nobody knew about the numbers. However, since that time, Sierra Vista has not been requested to stand up a shelter. We did receive email from county staff indicating the needs for food, sundries, supplies, toiletries, those kind of things for volunteers that could drop off here at Salvation Army or at Bisbee City Hall in Bisbee. So right now, no city staff has been assigned to a project like this, and we are not providing any funding assistance to that effort, and no need has been requested of us by the county or the other communities for assistance. So that is the current situation that we're in, and I will update you as things develop or change.
Okay, thank you. Any comments, questions for the city manager? No? All right, thank you very much. All right, we're going on to item 2, consent agenda. Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I move that the consent agenda consisting of the meeting minutes of the work session of September 12, 2023, and the regular city council meeting of September 14th, 2023 be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any changes, corrections to the minutes? Hearing nothing, all in favor? It's actually, I keep saying unanimous, but we're missing the actual mayor. But it is unanimous, minus the one. Okay, public hearing item is next here. And Councilmember Dr. Landry, you agreed to take this one? Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, Madam Pro Tem. I move that the resolution 2023-073, program year 2022, Community Development Block Grant, Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, CAPER, be approved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Staff report, Mr. McLaughlin?
Mayor Pro Tem Humphrey, members of council, the CAPER before you documents the city's progress in expending community development block grant funds during the program year, which coincides with the city's fiscal year ending in June 30th. As stated in the report, the city awarded a total of $173,636.12 in CDBG funds. This included completing the parking lot expansion project at St. Vincent de Paul, replacing the cabinets and countertops in the kitchen at Good Neighbor Alliance Emergency Shelter, carrying out emergency home repairs or improving accessibility to 7 low-income homeowners in the city, and providing a range of relief distributed by the United Way of Sierra Vista and Cochise County through the Emergency Crisis Fund. We also spent a small amount on administration to cover expenses associated with legal ads and environmental reviews. The contract for the slide at Soldier Creek Park has been awarded, and we're anticipating construction this fall. The report includes demographic information on the beneficiaries from the services provided and other material to address HUD reporting requirements. With your approval this evening, we will submit the report to HUD for their acceptance tomorrow. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone, or do we move to public comment first, or if there's anybody? Or do we go to the dais first? If it's a public hearing item? Oh, I don't know which, they're not for this. Okay.
You can ask.
Is there any member of the public here to speak on it? You,
No, just, could y'all speak up? Move the mic closer.
oh, okay.
You'll fix it.
We can't move the mics, but I can move closer to it. All right, any questions or comments from Mr. McLaughlin? Some of that, okay. Then, we'll move forward for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? 6-4, 1 absent. Moving on to new business. Item 4, Councilmember Marta Mesmer.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I move that the ordinance 2023-009, the codification of the codes of ordinance, be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Ms. Adams for the staff report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Humphrey, members of council. This item is the final step in the adoption into the city permanent record of the ordinances passed by council between July 14th, 2022 and August 10th, 2023. The ordinances included were a variety of topics from zoning and building codes to annexations to city department director specifics. All of the ordinances that were passed became effective at the time of their passing after the required waiting periods of 30 days. This has absolutely no effect on the effect of these ordinances. It just does welcome them into the permanent record, and after 30 days, we will move on and start building another set for next year.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any questions, comments for Ms. Adams? It's pretty routine. Okay, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Okay, 6-4, one
Thank you.
absent. And then item number 5, Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I move that Resolution 2023-074, an intergovernmental agreement with Cochise County Community College District for a joint program to train emergency medical services and fire science students, be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Chief Jones for staff report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and members of council. This resolution before you today is an intergovernmental agreement with Sierra Vista Fire and Medical Services and Cochise College to form together a partnership to teach Fire 1 and 2 in an expedited fashion to students where normally it takes a year long to gather their certifications. This will take 2 months. Once the program is completed, the students will have the ability to take the state test, be Firefighter 1 certified, Wildland certified, and have their hazmat technician. And we currently will have eight people going through the program, and we are really super excited about that. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Thank you, Chief Jones. Do we have any questions for? Yes, Councilmember Benning.
Some of those 8, that's some EMTs that are crossing over, or trying to cross over, right?
Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Benning, yes, it is. We do have 3 people that work on our EMT division that will be going to the fire division. Yes.
Thanks, sir.
Do we have any other comment? Yes.
And Chief, just to
Councilmember.
clarify, probationary period will not change at all, correct?
Mayor Pro Tem and Councilman Rodriguez, no. Probationary, they will go through their academy, and then they will still have the year-long probation as well, yes.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I don't.
Just had one.
Yes, Councilmember Johnson.
Additionally, as this is an ongoing program, will we be also training firefighters and EMTs outside of Cochise County?
Mayor Pro Tem and Councilman Johnson, possibly. This is a pilot program that the college is initially doing with us. We hope in the future that the college will be able to hold these programs on a year-long basis, where we will mostly stay within Cochise County because other programs within the state offer the same thing. But if we get people from outside the county that want to come along, we were hoping that maybe next year 2 from Sierra Vista, 2 from Fry, maybe 1 from Wilcox, 1 from Douglas will be able to attend and keep it local for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you so much. If no other questions or comments? Then I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? It's unanimous, 6-1 absent. Okay, moving on to call to the public, which we have quite a few of. I think this is the most I've ever seen. Yes.
Point of order, how many requests to speak do we currently have?
We are currently at 22 speakers.
Okay.
Is that?
I would suggest that we limit the number of speakers.
This is the people. Democracy when it's convenient, right? Right. Because they're communists.
Thank you.
All right. I hear your suggestion, and I understand the concern. Normally we would normally everybody would get 5 minutes each. I think because there is so many people here, we should talk about possibly limiting it to 3 minutes. each. And I would also ask,
Let the people have.
I would also ask that you not repeat each other. If a point was already made, this is a common practice that we make on council as well. If a point's already made, we don't repeat it 6 more times. We just make our statement. And with that, we'll move forward. The first speaker I have, I'll just go in the order I received it. Inga McCord. And there will be a timer. Is she still here? Oh.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
3 minutes.
And I'll just remind everybody, since I know some of you have done this before, we can't legally respond to any of the comments made tonight. Thank you. Go ahead. It should be on. Go ahead, try.
Hello, I am Inga McCord, and the idea of housing illegals in Sierra Vista is preposterous. I've been under siege for almost 25 years, and they leave trash everywhere, thousands of pounds of trash. They've started multiple fires and actually burned 52 houses about 12 years ago. They don't have the same priorities we do. They did all their bathroom business in my yard numerous times, and the whole thing is unacceptable because they have different customs and behaviors than we do. If you have a program where they can be trained to act like Americans and not soil our yards and burn up our forests, when they're up hiking in the mountains to get here, their high priority is to keep water to drink so they don't die. They've left numerous fires burning. We've put them out, and it's just, the whole thing is absolutely preposterous. And unless you put it to a vote with the citizens of the county, because it affects everybody in the county. We shop here, etc. Don't want them loitering in public places or adding more crime, because if they don't have jobs, they don't have anything to do, they're going to get in trouble. So it's a very, very bad idea for a community that's mostly retirement people, and not everybody carries a gun, and maybe you'd have to change the laws so we could shoot people that are actually threatening our lives. There's a lot to be thought about. Lots to be thought about when you introduce that kind of an element into our lovely community. Thank you.
Thank you. Radford Hyde. Oh, you calling point of order?
You did.
The thing isn't on. Or
Because
the
we're
time.
not using this timer?
Oh, somebody's got a
It
timer?
would be a 5-minute timer.
Okay, thank you, sorry. I just wanted to,
Thank you.
so that I knew. Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Hyde, go ahead.
Hi, my name, excuse me, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
My name is Radford Hyde, I'm in Sierra Vista, and I heard this filthy rumor that they're going to start trying to house illegals in Sierra Vista. It's coming, the other places are filling up. We're the last one that hasn't agreed, I think, in the county that has any kind of facilities for this thing. I know a lot of people in this room. Not one person is against legal immigration. Not one person is against people coming here the right way, through the checkpoints, through the border, applying normally like everybody else. We don't want these people who are slipping through the fences and getting bussed around and dropped off in neighborhoods. We moved here on purpose because this is a wholesome community. I want it to stay that way. It's not going to stay that way. And further, I know several people in this room too. They're going to be on the lookout for you agreeing to any intergovernmental agreements or any government agency who wants to offer you money that's going to slip in housing for illegals or housing for migrants or any of that business. And they're going to be watching this because it's coming. Somebody's going to offer you a ton of money to try and do this. Just sign here, and there's going to be all these intergovernmental agreements that you have to sign, and you're going to have to do it. So please reject those. Please reject those. Everybody here is going to be on the lookout for those. So that's my opinion. I moved here on purpose. I moved away and I moved back because I love this community and I don't want to see it wrecked. Thank you.
Also, Gwen Patterson. Gwen Patterson.
Good evening. I just want to thank everybody that showed up tonight, only knowing about this maybe 48 hours. So this tells you, for every person here, there's probably 20 that we represent. This is a very bad idea, and it's a betrayal of the leadership of this city to even condone it and think about it. And you know that. We've seen other cities. We are not, an open city. We never are a sanctuary city. And the other thing, I have patients, women, coming into my practice all the time who have been assaulted. They've been assaulted on military bases where they house these people, and there's no justice. And it's just like a woman came in this week, and she said, yeah, I carry a gun, but if I shot anybody when he came up to get against me, it would be his word against mine. And who would go to jail? Who would they hear? They don't feel safe. And I don't think that's fair. I think if anybody who's been maligned and cheated with this whole cultural thing, it's women. They can't go to their bathrooms. They can't have sports. And now we can't even go out on the street if it's a little dusk. Ayuda, I think it's called Bayuda Home Health. They've now just made a ruling in their company that their healthcare providers can't be out past 5. That because they're afraid that something's going to happen. We don't want them housed here. We know what happens. This isn't the first rodeo. And I just would ask and pray that you won't do this to us.
Next is Marie Blair.
For this opportunity to speak to you tonight. I'm concerned about 2 items. Number 1, there is a question that our city council could consider letting illegals use the old juvenile detention center. I object to this vehemently. It could not be a good idea and could lead to more help, which our spare city cannot afford, nor would we be in agreement with it. Please consider that this is a federal government issue. The federal government is responsible for caring for these people that they're letting in illegally across the border. May I suggest that Fort Huachuca house them as a...
Please let her speak.
As opposed to Sierra Vista, if it should come to that.
Guys.
The federal government has plenty of room and plenty of money. That's bottom line. I'd like to add that I left messages for Mayor McCaw and Chuck Batusik today to talk to them about this issue. They did not respond to my calls. However, I'd like to say that Gregory Johnson did call me back, and he's to be commended today for that.
Thank you. All right. Linda Koontz? Is that it?
Good evening. My name is Linda Koontz, and I reside in Sierra Vista, Arizona. I'm here to tell you shame on you. And shame on you if you were considering this effort. We have seen this rabbit hole. We know how this plays out. You don't have to worry about whether or not it would. It will. If you let it in the door, headlines like cities at breaking point after welcoming illegal immigrants. This is where you're headed. And we don't want to let you do that to us. If it's necessary to put some people on the council who will listen to the community, then we may have to do that. But we're trusting you to keep our best interests at heart. After all, we pay the bill for this building, for salaries, for all of that you speak about when you have meetings. So I ask you to take that into consideration and understand that the humanitarian end of this and all other charitable entities lies in the citizens and their own choice, not yours. So these people and the churches they go to and the families they live with can decide which charity to give their money to. You should not be allowed to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Tim DeQ.
Good evening. My name is Kim Depew. I live in South Sierra Vista. Madam Chairwoman, you asked us to be succinct and not repeat. I'd like to come at this from the space of supporting the Border Patrol. The first thing I want to quote Justice Antonin Scalia. Are the sovereign states, he asked, at the mercy of the federal executive's refusal to enforce the nation's immigration laws? Checking a box on an asylum form and declaring the illegal migrant legal is a perversion of our laws. It is cowardice. Our sovereign nation is being willfully destroyed by its leaders. We who fail to say no are complicit. Every mayor, councilman, supervisor, sheriff, deputy, every county and state attorney, police chief, every officer and citizen must say no. We must empower every beleaguered Border Patrol agent, every Homeland Security employee to say no. They must refuse to violate their oaths any longer. We are all human smugglers if we fail to say no. The hordes of people walking into our nation are invited by evil bureaucrats who wish to break this country with the weight of their presence. We must say no. No one in this county will deny the outstretched hands of human beings in need. But our leaders, you people, must answer no when asked to be partners in the destruction. You must answer no. We will not host this corruption in Sierra Vista. And I thank you for taking the time to listen to us.
David Greenberg.
Y'all expect to be getting an earful tonight? I've traveled over 12,000 miles so far this year to a lot of my favorite places, cities that I've spent a lot of time in, and I see them in dire straits because they didn't say no. Somebody brought in a bus, they said, okay, just one. And all of a sudden, you're a sanctuary city and you have a mess on your hands. They didn't say no. You can't fix this, not from here. You're putting a Band-Aid on a missing limb. And that's, you guys can't fix it. All you can do is, again, say no. Turn this problem back over to the Fed. They created it, it's their problem, give it back to them. Yes. I sent a message to Sheriff Daniels the other day. He said, you need to declare martial law here. Mm-hmm. Do not allow anyone else to unload a bus in this county. You can't do it. You have homeless vets here. You have suicidal vets. They're the ones that deserve our help. I went to Rocky Point last week, and I saw 5 bus loads coming from Ajo this way on Highway, 85 or 86? That's 300 people. You can't fix this. Just say no.
Richard Barr.
My name is Richard Barr, and my wife Kathy and I have lived in Sierra Vista for over 25 years. We really enjoy this town, and I've never felt the need to come before you to give you my opinion. But thank you for this opportunity. I sincerely hope that you will agree with what I have to say, because I feel very strongly that this city that we love is in grave danger. The number one job of the city council is to keep the city safe. You took a pledge to do this. You will betray that pledge if you let the Border Patrol drop off unknown border crossers in our city. The people coming across our southern border include cartel members, people with criminal backgrounds, and terrorists. The Border Patrol has already apprehended over 70 people on the terrorist watch list, which means that others on that list have already come into our country, and more will continue to come. Now our federal government wants to drop them on our doorstep. What could possibly go wrong? Polls show that a majority of Americans consider the border to be in crisis. The insanity of a policy that says anyone in the world that can say the word asylum can enter this country, and in most cases simply stay here forever, is insane. In just 2 years, we've already imported more aliens than the population of some of our states. There is no other country in the world that has border policies like this. The 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. There is no statement in our Constitution that gives the federal government power to control our borders. There is nothing in our Constitution that says that cities and towns must use their resources to take care of anyone coming into this country. The Republican candidates in the debate last night agreed that the Biden border policies are illegal, and these candidates represent at least 50% of the voters in this country. My strong recommendation to the City Council is that you arrange with the Sierra Vista Police and other city resources to put any immigrants dropped off in Sierra Vista onto a city bus for immediate transportation to the large sanctuary city in Tucson. If you allow these unknown and, in my opinion, illegal immigrants to be left in Sierra Vista, you will have betrayed your pledge to keep your citizens safe. And if this action results in the death or injury to one or more citizens of Sierra Vista, it will be your responsibility. And I will do everything in my power to make sure that our citizens know what you have done. Please protect this city. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if you heard Jean Goodfrieda. Yeah.
That's a tough one to say.
Sorry, they were clapping through the first name.
Good evening. I'm Jean Jafrida from Hereford. I don't want to repeat anything that anyone else said, but I do think it's very important for everybody to know what these people actually are. The other day they were referred to as drop-offs. These are people, and these people are here with an alien status. And they're here with an alien status because they don't have a driver's license valid in Arizona or in one of the 50 states. They don't have a birth certificate showing that they were born in one of the 50 states. They don't have a U.S. certificate of birth abroad. They don't have a U.S. passport. They don't have a foreign passport. They don't have an I-94 form with a photo. They don't have a U.S. citizenship, immigration, service, employment document, or a refugee travel document. They don't have a U.S. certificate of naturalization. They don't have a U.S. certificate of citizenship. They don't have a tribal certificate of Indian blood. They don't have a tribal or Bureau or of Indian Affairs affidavit of birth. And they don't have other licenses that are issued by the federal government, any state government, any agency of the state, or political subdivision of this state that requires proof of citizenship or lawful alien status. So let's call these people what they are. They're aliens illegally here, not drop-offs. Second, you know as well as the other elected officials who gave a press conference 2 weeks ago that said pretty much, we, the citizens here, the tax-paying citizens, the people who elected you, don't have any rights. But the illegal aliens have a lawful right to be here. That is an unbelievable statement to hear as a tax-paying citizen of this county. You all just decided this game is over. They won. You're standing down. You're letting them come in. No backlash from you guys at all. You're supposed to protect us, the citizens, not the illegal aliens. And this place that you thought was such a grand idea to house these guys, do you understand that there's a hospital right next door to that facility that have people that work odd hours, that have to walk from the building to their car unassisted? Did you think that through? Did you think through the fact that there's a lovely residential neighborhood, Campstone, right there, just 2 seconds down the road, where kids walk to school, they walk to their friend's house, they walk to their playgrounds? Did you ever think that they may be in harm's way? I would bet $41 million that they would not be happy to hear what you guys have planned. I love how this was just slyly slipped in the other night. And I bet if this group didn't show up tonight, you wouldn't have been changing your mind tonight.
Daniel, a chance? No.
Could I ask that we not be on our phones and listen to us, please? Wow. That's our elected. Yeah, but anyways.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. It seems that we have to come before you more and more every day because you've forgotten who you work for. I want to comment on the proposal for housing illegal aliens in Sierra Vista. The illegal aliens are from roughly 160 different countries. They represent everybody. So we're not talking about just one type of people. We're talking about everybody coming here illegally. And we're told that our city manager thinks that it's a good idea that we should house them here because they cannot get a ride. Well, that's ridiculous. Give them a ride to the border where they came from. We didn't ask for them to be here. So I have to ask, is this really serious? Are we really seriously considering this? Greg Johnson, are you really seriously considering this? I've seen you over there laughing a few times as the people have expressed their will to come before you. They elected you, but now you're going to turn around and tell them that they can't speak to you, that you're going to limit their speech. Right. That is ridiculous. It's appalling. It's uncalled for. Stop it. Hear us. We wouldn't be here if this wasn't the problem.
I'm going to agree with you on that.
Perhaps you have heard the Jason Aldean song, Try That in a Small Town. Let's not do this. It's a very, very bad idea. I understand it's Mr. Matusek's brainchild, that our small town should house illegal aliens because they cannot get a ride. Is that the predicate for our small town, that people can't get a ride? So therefore, the citizens have to become responsible for these people, because that's what you're doing. You're going to drop them at our doorstep, and we're going to be the ones that have to become responsible for them. And we didn't accept or ask for or approve of any of that. I believe you took an oath of office as an employee of the city government, all of you. I believe that oath of office was to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. My comments now are for Mayor McCaw, but they apply equally to all of you. So I'll say what I was going to say to him since he's not here. I understand you were in the Army Reserve and retired as a colonel after a 30-year career. Congratulations. I appreciate you for defending the country in positions such as Brigade Commander, Army Reserve Element, Detachment 6, UCOM. Having done a total of 34 years in the Army as a signal officer in Department Civilian, I'm certain we could share some stories about the places we've been, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here because our country is being invaded at our border, and because of this invasion, we are being told we are now considering housing these aliens. Now, I know you're going to tell me that these illegal aliens, that these are not illegal aliens, and so therefore I'm going to ask you, how did they get here? They walked across the wide open border. Whose job is it to secure our border? The federal government. It's one of the reasons why they get paid so well by our taxpayers.
Mr. LaChance, can you please conclude your comments?
I'm sorry?
It's already been over 3 minutes.
I thought we had 5 minutes.
We have,
3 minutes.
we
Do the
have
rules,
a lot of people to get
do the rules change just on your whim? How did they become legally here without having been invited?
We're giving everyone 3 minutes.
How did they
Please.
come here without being legally invited? They're illegal. We don't want them here. Take them back to the border and tell them to go home.
Thank you,
I
Mr. LaChance.
I wish that you would let us speak to you. You need to hear all of us and not shut us off.
Chadbourne?
I've read the Constitution, I hope you guys do too. You're all communists.
I'm Lee Chadbourne. These people here are illegal. They broke the law of the United States Constitution. They need to be arrested, confined, and deported back to their original country of birth. Now, we, the people of the United States and Sierra Vista, we didn't invite them here. All these illegals, I don't care whether they're men, women, or children, they were very aware they were coming into this country illegally, violating our Constitution and breaking the law, so we'll only start to induce crime 10 times fold in this city when you accept the first illegal. I don't care whether it's man, woman, or child. When you accept the first woman or man or child, the city will reap a continued tons and tons of trouble for herself when you accept the first illegal person or family, because you have now set a precedent. The precedent is you're saying to the Biden administration, come on, bring on some more, because you just accepted them, so they'll just keep on sending more. Where the Biden administration has called it humanitarianism, when in essence, that humanitarianism, you're harboring criminals. They willfully violated our Constitution and our laws, but by no one forced them in, they went in on their own. I don't care if the borders were open. So they only want to use this country for their own satisfaction, not loving this country, or they would not have violated our Constitution in the first place. So let me tell you, humanitarianism is when you provide food, clothing, shelter, and transportation to those who are here legally, whether they're a citizen or a green card holder, and that person then respects and loves this country. You do not respect this country at all when you willfully disrespect and disobey its Constitution and laws. These people that are here, which you are the illegals, they don't love this country, or they would have respected the laws and followed the laws of the land. Now you will be fools. Now I'm talking to all of you. If you disrespect the citizens of Sierra Vista and Cochise County, even if you give any thought to harboring these criminals, at the same time, you allow yourself to be a criminal yourself, subject to arrest and sentencing for allowing the Constitution to be violated, as well as violating your own oath of office.
Thank you. Paul Barble. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
I want to read a little something to you. It's Article 4, Section 4 of our Constitution, which requires our government to protect and defend our borders. And if government does not, the Constitution, by virtue of the named part herein, authorizes the free citizens to defend themselves and their state in place of a treasonous government. Note, in not defending our borders, government gives aid and comfort to a hostile foreign invasion. And this, under Article 3, Section 3 of the Constitution, is properly labeled treason. We are not even taking care of our own in this city of Sierra Vista. There is no way, shape, or form that we can take care of illegals which are not migrants. You got that? They're not migrants. Get it straight. Migrants are seasonal farm workers that return to Mexico, and they are not asylum seekers, for they seek asylum in the first country they enter after leaving their own little hellholes. You can call them illegal invaders, but what they really are is simply invaders that have come in illegally. And you know they came in illegally because they got camouflage outfits long before they knew they were going to be entering here illegally. And coming in groups is an act of war. And failure of all of you people to comply with your oath of office and the Constitution, you are complicit in the acts of treason by continuing to keep the border open and allowing these people to come in, giving aid and comfort to our enemies. You're not giving aid and comfort to our own people. The people here in Sierra Vista, we got homeless everywhere. You're not taking care of them. We got veterans that are homeless. You're not taking care of them. You're not feeding them. Okay? So, when you allow this to happen, you're in a state of treason, all of you, because you are complicit in the illegal actions of the Biden cartel. Personally, I don't care who you are, Homeland Security, ICE, the Sheriff's Office, or the Border Patrol. All of you are complying with unlawful orders from the Biden cartel and are complicit in human trafficking, pedophilia, drug smuggling, weapon smuggling, money laundering, rape, and child abuse. And I will educate you, but you should already know this. Any law that violates constitutional law is null and void as if it never occurred in the first place, and you do not have to comply with that unlawful order. Having said that, now you know that you do not have to comply with what's coming out of the Biden cartel on the open borders. Get your act together or go get other jobs. You are to serve and protect the people, not give aid and comfort to our enemies. Round them all up onto military transport planes going to the Ukraine who can financially afford to house and feed them with our billions of taxpayer dollars. And the fighting age males can be placed into their army. Do not even think about housing them here and placing our citizens and elders and children at great risk. We, the people, demand that you do your jobs as required by the Constitution and your oath of office to protect us in our interests. Did I make myself perfectly clear? You guys understand? Have a good day.
Renata, Danny?
Good evening. My name is Renata Daney, and I was looking through my notes, and a lot of things were already said. And I just want to reiterate to the fact that the sheriffs here in this town have the capacity to protect the citizens of Cochise County, and they can say no, and they should, because they should protect us. And we did have Minutemen that worked years ago. Look at all the cities like New York, Philadelphia, Oregon, up there in the state. All those cities are deteriorating, and the federal government's not going to bail them out. How are they going to bail us out? It's not sustainable, and this city cannot do it, and that's all I'd like to say for now. Thank you.
Bob McCormick?
Yeah, Bob McCormick of Sierra Vista. I just want to say that you folks aren't seeing anything else, anything different than the rest of the United States. This is happening all over because of the Biden administration. They did it on purpose so they could get continued voting to have illegal elections. So don't think that we're against you any more than any other city. You don't take it personal. And we are all compassionate to women and children. But if you go on YouTube and you watch the border, you'll see that 90% of them are not women and children. So if you start by letting them women and children, now you got them all, and we'll be a sanctuary city just like Tucson, which none of us want. Thank you.
Daniel Bergine?
Hi, my name's Daniel Burgany. I live up by Busby and Carmichael. The 2022 midterms changed this city. My neighborhood has been flooded with homeless. I speak to them every day. None of them are from Cochise County. They're from Wilcox, they're from Pima County, they're from Maricopa. They have camps in the deserts behind the schools in my neighborhood. They throw trash in our yards. They crap in the streets. They shoot up heroin on the sidewalks in broad daylight. They scream in the playgrounds at imaginary friends, scaring the children away from their play. They fight with the thugs in the streets at night. Our neighborhoods aren't safe. The people in my neighborhood are terrified to walk in their neighborhood. They're afraid to let their children go outside. This is without the illegals in our city. What are we going to do when our streets are flooded with them too? You want to turn this detention center into a... How about we house the homeless there? How about we start taking care of our people? Where are we? This council is failing this city, and I see it every day in the street. This is a travesty. It's on you guys. I don't know what to say. Either resign or do your jobs.
Randall Limbaugh?
Limbaugh, Sierra Vista. The mainstream media and government bureaucrats dishonestly identify these illegal immigrants as women and children to play in the sympathies of local citizens. What is being reported by actual citizens nationwide directly affected by these mass migrations, however, is an overwhelming influx of military-aged males. The women and children you seek to rescue are likely victims of human and sex trafficking which are federal offenses to be dealt with by federal, not local agencies. In my opinion, our city and county officials are nothing more than actors playing a game to paint themselves as humanitarians, Mr. City Manager, and to draw more federal and state funds into our cities and towns for misuse. Before you and/or the Herald describe me and others here tonight as non-compassionate and part of an angry mob, know that we did not create this crisis, but rather Joseph R. Biden and those who support him. What's not compassionate is to encourage human and sex trafficking with an open-door invitation to a town with no resources. What's not compassionate is to prioritize illegal aliens over our own homeless veterans. What's not compassionate is to place our most vulnerable populations at risk, the youth and the elderly. What's not compassionate is to demand even more from legal citizens who can barely manage an ever-increasing cost of living. Those of you bureaucrats, Mr. City Manager, and citizens who wish to assist and/or harbor certain aliens is in violation of Title 8 of the United States Code, Section 1324, which I suggest you read, and will be subject to fines and imprisonment. Thank you.
Yvonne Mayer. Is she Yvonne Mayer? Oh, okay, we got her. I didn't see her back there.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to this group that came out today. We are the people, and we are speaking. And you need to hear us. Your job is to keep the people of Sierra Vista and surrounding areas safe and secure. Your job is to make decisions based on facts and not emotions. Stand up and do the right thing.
Mr. Tom Crosby.
Here's our representative.
Thank you for having me here, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Tom Crosby, Supervisor of Cochise County District 1. A factor in determining the ineligibility to be and remain in the United States is the likelihood to become a public charge, which almost all of these in discussion are, and so remain in violation of the law. They are admitted contrary to the law by the policy of the Biden administration, and my platform is prevent illegal entry. Prevent illegal entry. Thank you. In a 2012 article, Assistant Secretary of International Affairs and Chief Diplomatic Officer for the Department of Homeland Security, Alan Burson, told a gathering of the United States and Mexico Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C., quote, "The Guatemalan border with Chiapas is now our southern border," end quote. While it is more than puzzling and it is more than frightening that he believed our new southern border is with Guatemala, in 2012, the senior diplomat had already in his mind merged the United States and Mexico. The left knows that it is critical to the survival of any nation to discriminate based on nationality. That is what a border is for. At least one al-Qaeda-linked operative convicted in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing plot obtained amnesty through a program intended for farm workers. From Michael Cutler, Specifically to the issue of terrorism, it was found that a majority of the terrorists who were illegal aliens when they committed their crimes were in fact visa overstayers, that out of the 48 Al-Qaeda operatives who committed crimes here between 1993 and 2001, 12 of them were illegal aliens when they committed their crimes. 7 of them were visa overstayers, including 2 of the conspirators in the first World Trade Center attack, one of the figures from the New York subway bomb plot, and 4 of the 9/11 terrorists. In fact, a couple other terrorists who were not illegal when they committed their crimes had been visa overstayers earlier and had either applied for asylum or finagled a fake marriage certificate to launder their status. So the big questions are, who are they? Where are they? Whose responsibility is it to know? I think there's already 30 million lost illegal aliens in the country. So, given the prevalence of overstays among terrorists in the United States, it is clearly an important security goal to limit this phenomenon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Patterson?
Joseph Patterson, Sierra Vista. Greetings to the Mayor Pro Tem and council members. Mr. Podacek, thank you for listening to us. Appreciate your attention. A lot of excellent points have been made today. Many that I was not aware of, and I'm sure the same applies to you. It's worth listening to. Much wisdom has been said here today. We are in this together, and we need to stick together through this if we're going to survive. I would like to just read one thing. This is Section 4, Article 4 of the Constitution. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion. I repeat, the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion. That is the responsibility of the government. To protect us, not to protect those who would destroy us, but to protect us. And the many comments that have been made here today, I think the one that sticks out in my mind as far as concluding with you would be to say no. Say no.
Okay. Alan Blackhorn? Blackhout? Okay, sorry. Thank you.
My name is Alan Blackhorn. I moved here in '72 with my father. He served in the Army. He retired on post. I decided to make this my home with my wife of 41 years, and we raised 3 kids here. We live out on Ramsey Road, and we've seen our fair share of illegals on our property. Everybody said everything that's had to be said. There's more to be said. All I want to say is if you guys think this is an invasion, you're wrong. This is a precursor to an invasion. Wait until they decide to invade, and they come for all of you and all of us. Who's going to protect you guys? You guys think you're protected? You're wrong. You guys are going to run to people like this gentleman here, Mr. Farbo back there, and the rest of the over here talking about this is wrong. Y'all know it's wrong. Find your honesty. Get down into your gut and bring it back up. And that's pretty much all I got to say. And it's not cool you be laughing at shit.
Miss Alice Benton.
Good evening. As most of you know, we are experiencing the biggest migration the world has ever seen into our country since the beginning of time. In 1962, people who study the environment said that for best use of land in our country for farming, housing, wildlife, that we should never exceed the population of 335 million people. We exceeded that a number of years ago. We have people not coming just from the Americas, but from all over the world. And I'm wondering, who's paying for their plane tickets or boat passage over here? Speaking of that, as you know, we're told we have a water shortage here. Here in Cochise County, we have people whose wells have gone dry. So if we have a water shortage in the United States, we have a shortage of doctors and nurses. I remember when we moved back here 30 years ago, if I got sick, I could call and get a same-day appointment. Now those same-day appointments are about 3 months out. Everybody has gotten kicked off post who's a dependent wife, dependent child, retired person for medical care because they're down to one doc. They were down a few months ago. I don't know what it is now, down to one doctor and 2 nurse practitioners. We're short of doctors and nurses all over the United States. We have a housing shortage. Kids, younger people cannot afford to buy houses right now. We have job shortages. And yet we keep importing people into our country. There's a plan, and I don't think it's a good one because we are shooting ourselves in the foot. And if you've ever been in the military or law enforcement, you know that you're supposed to contain a problem. Spreading out 6 million illegals who've come in, well, they're officially, I guess the Biden administration calls them legals because they can claim refugee status. But whatever the fact is if we can't spread people out all over the United States, it was when Texas and Arizona started sending people who come to the country as migrants to New York City and Chicago that CNN and MSNBC started paying attention to it, as well as ABC, NBC, and CBS. And then our government started paying attention to it. If we spread people out, it's going to hurt the small communities. But if we contain the people that are coming here into the larger cities who say they're sanctuary cities, then if we need to take action, it's easier to locate people. But they are spreading out, as you know, everywhere. And thank you for listening to us all.
Donna Stewart. Donna. And she's the last one I have, unless someone forgot to turn in a. Are they over here?
Yeah, there's some on the left and some on the right, either side.
Yeah. Go ahead, thank you.
Thank you. And actually, my name is Julia Turnage. Donna gave her position up, Yeah, thank you. So I want to implore with all of you, I find all of this very appalling. I am an immigrant, a naturalized citizen that came here many, many decades ago. Legally. Yes, legally. At any rate, through the years, working myself up along with my siblings who came here and applied for citizenship, and by the way, I am a proud American. This is my country, not my country of origin, which is Italia. This is my country, and I would die for my country. Having worked myself up and been on Fort Huachuca 28 years. I'm no longer there. I'm in space industry now, but I supported DOD and MI and counterintelligence and held a TS-SCI clearance, which I can tell you I went through 3 years of background investigation, even as a naturalized citizen, a U.S. citizen, that needed to be done, and I was good with that. And I had to write a 5-page essay as my dedication and loyalty and love for this country. Because Dawn had given up her spot to speak, I promised I would share some things. So we all know that sanctuary cities harbor criminals and create dangerous environments for all of us U.S. citizens. Sanctuary city policies make it very difficult on our law enforcement, our sheriffs, our border patrol, our PD. And believe me, I'm sure they're quite upset having to do what is being asked of them to do at this point. Again, we need to just ask you to please just say no, okay? Sanctuary cities encourage illegal immigration and strain all of our resources economically, as we all know. They make it difficult to deport criminals. These so-called drop-offs, quote unquote, are not drop-offs. They're illegal aliens. They did not follow process. They didn't wait in line for their turn. My family waited many years, and I'm grateful. And I'm grateful to call myself an American. And I'm hoping and I'm pleading with you, please just say no. We implore on you, please protect us here in the community, protect our children, our grandchildren. Please do the right thing, because if you don't, I guarantee none of you will be here next year.
That's right.
Caitlin Sinclair.
Okay, I would first like to thank all of you guys for listening to my generation. I'm speaking for my generation. So I'm going to put a little bit into perspective, right? I think it's important to always have the mind of awareness, right? So I was born and raised here. So I live on a small property. I have horses, I have dogs, cats, all the farm animals, if you haven't seen by the way I dress, you know? So before the borders were open, there were, you could probably say, maybe 20 illegals coming over every maybe month, okay? So now that the borders are open, it's become thousands. I can no longer feed my own animals by myself without feeling unsafe. I can no longer walk to my car after, I'm in so many CTSOs. I'm an Arizona DECA state officer. I don't know if any of you guys know what DECA is, but I represent Arizona as a whole. I'm a competitive swimmer. I got into Harvard University at 16 years old. This breaks my heart. I can't even leave my school by the end of the day and not feel safe in my own country, somewhere where I should feel safe, I should feel loved, I should feel supported by, you guys are the counselors, you guys are supporting all of us in this room. It hurts me so bad. My generation is not going well. If this is where it's at now, look at all these people in this room. They're here. Please say no for the sake of them and for the sake of my generation. I want to be the best neurosurgeon in the world. How can I pay for a house? How can I pay for my college, Harvard tuition alone? I can't even do it. My parents can't do it. How am I going to put myself through 15 years of college to be the best neurosurgeon in the world, to save our people? You guys were put in the spot to save us, and I want to give back. So please, please say no for the sake of my generation. Please. Thank you so much.
Just say no.
We still have a few items on the agenda, so we'd be happy to talk to you afterwards. We just have to get through the meeting. No, you may not. Call the public has ended. We're moving on to comments and requests of council. And you, ma'am, you need to not speak when call the public's over. No, you need to let us have our meeting.
You work for us, and you ought to listen to us.
Comments. We'll start with Dr. Councilmember Landry.
Thank you.
Sorry to put you on.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I want to thank everybody who came tonight. I appreciate your comments, and if it's very important for you to share your thoughts, your concerns, your worries with us. I appreciate it so much. Thank you all for coming here. We have call to the public at every council meeting, the second and fourth Thursday of the month. So I invite you to come back to our work sessions and our council meetings. You're always welcome to share at call to the public.
Work sessions now?
I also wanted to get my thoughts in order here. Didn't want to go first right now. So we can't respond to any comments that were made tonight. So I'm not going to make any comments about anything that was said at call to the public. I wanted to next weekend, there will be Art in the Park at Veterans Memorial Park. There'll also be vineyards in the park, so that's something that's a great event that's put on every year. I invite you to go out. It's always a very good time for everybody in town. You'll find a lot of great artisans there. You'll find something for everybody. And that same day, October 7th, NAMI will be putting on the Sky Island bike ride. I'm not really sure if there are any more spots available. There's many different there's 5 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles. So I welcome you to check that out if you even want to go there to support the riders there. I think it's a very great organization, bringing awareness to mental health and the importance of that. Also, in the executive report, I wanted to welcome everybody to check that out. There's lots of really great information that maybe will answer anybody's questions in the public. I did want to say something about the employee profile for Patricia Trish Harmon. I think it's very important to recognize our great city workers and what they do. She's been doing a lot of great things. She's also requested to pursue an accident reconstruction training so she can assist in other things. So I appreciate that, and shout out to her for all her hard work. Today is also my daughter's birthday, so I wanted to give a shout out to her. She's a really great girl ever since even when she was 4 hours in labor, she's always been such a good baby, such a good girl. I'm very happy to have her in my life. I'm very proud of her. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. Happy birthday, Alice. Mommy loves you. And that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Dr. Landry. And now we'll go on with, Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Again, probably largest call to public I've seen so far since I've been in council. So obviously, if you have an issue, it's good to see people come and speak, give you the opportunity. So thank you for coming and speaking your mind. Unfortunately, nothing that we're actually voting on today, but appreciate you making your comments. Been continuing my ride-alongs with the PD. It's been going well. It's been awesome. Thank you, Chief. It's just a testament to keeping our streets safe. I've been out there a lot of times with them. I see CCSO out there. State troopers are out there, so spend a lot of nights out there with the PD. So see a lot of things, but it's good to know that they're on duty. So I appreciate you. Want to pass on my thanks to them and to all the people I've ridden along with so far. I appreciate that. This weekend, a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, like you mentioned, biggest event at the park. We have the Hispanic Heritage Fest on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Live music. A big salute to service is going to be there. It's going to be a huge event. A lot of food vendors, a lot of people selling stuff. So it's going to be a really good event. So I definitely encourage you guys to check that out. We have Where They Buck event going on. We have rodeo this weekend. Starts at 3 p.m. As well as, what else? That's it for the Saturday. Also, if you haven't noticed, on the ADOT website, the State Route 90 project has been posted. So I'll apologize if you're going to talk about that. I'll let you talk about that. I'll let you talk about it.
You're good.
All right. So if you haven't been on the website, it's been posted. 1, the project details. kind of breaks down the 2 sections. Second, the bid is posted, tells you that it's going to be open for bid until October 27th. So that's progress that we've been waiting for a long, long time. Way, way overdue. We all agree on that. So I'm glad it's finally posted so people can get the information as soon as we do. It's on the website, so you can go there and check it out yourself. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Rodriguez. Councilmember Benning.
Thank you. I feel very unfortunate that people are leaving already before we can talk to you afterwards. But for those that stay and want to talk, I'll be available. Come up to me, talk to me. I have no issues with that. I really appreciate people coming out. Every council meeting, I talk about the thousands on watching on YouTube. Evidently correct, because I'm sure you've seen the work session. And I talk about the hundreds in attendance, so it's great having people out, whether we agree, disagree, this or that. I like hearing from you, so I thank each and every one of you for talking. Apologize, we had to cut the time from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. We have staff here that gets paid, we have to get them out of here, and we have other things. But like I said, I'll be here afterwards. You can come up here, we can sit in that meeting and sing Kumbaya all you want, or go outside and talk all you want. It's good to voice your opinion. It's good to voice your concerns. And whether we are voting on this tonight or not, it's still good to hear from you. So I appreciate y'all coming out. Other than that, I just want to thank Pastor Justin McPeak for blessing us tonight. Lord knows our council needs it, our city needs it, and our country needs it. So for the hundreds that are here tonight, I appreciate y'all. For the thousands watching on YouTube, have a blessed and glorious day. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Benning. Councilmember Mesmer.
Yes, thank you, Pro Tem. I would just, again, like to thank everybody for your comments. I just would also like to remind all of you and us, we all are citizens of Sierra Vista. My family was here before the state, before it was even a state. So this country and the city means a lot to all of us, and we will do the right thing for our city. And I do appreciate all of you being respectful as we try to be respectful up here. So, and I just know that you all, wherever we speak, to you and me to you, we be respectful and just because that's what's going to help everything. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Mesmer. Councilmember Johnson.
I just have one item, just to report that the Sierra Vista Environmental Stewardship Commission met on Wednesday from 4 to 5:30. We have a great chair of that committee that kept us right at an hour and a half. We talked about a lot of things. We have one shortage of a commissioner right now, and we had 3 applications that came down to 2, and I believe we're going to vote on that in the next month. We also are going to plan a field trip out to the environmental park, because it was interesting to see how many people that are on that commission that have never been to the environmental park or understand the workings of that particular operation, which is world-class, by the way. Other than that, I have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson. And then that leaves me. Thank you for, there's still people here. Okay. I saw so many people leaving out the sides. Thank you for taking the time to come out here tonight. We don't normally have such a turnout for council meetings, and this does, I know some of it was fueled by maybe a rumor. I got a screenshot sent to me about something that we were entertaining becoming a sanctuary city or something, and just
Is that not true?
So there's rumors, and you just need to make sure you fact check everything you read online, and we all know this already, but especially on social media. I want to say happy birthday to Alice, and she's a wonderful kid or teenager, not a kid anymore. And then thank you for bringing up Ada, posting the 2 projects for Route 90 to include that terrible section of road around Target and Fry's. That's what he's talking about. They put it out to bid. We should see construction start before the end of the year. And yeah, the best news. And then, if nothing else before the council, this meeting's adjourned.